Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, welcome. As you are well aware, there's a lot of anxiety in farm country. In Nebraska, 1 in 4 jobs are tied directly to production agriculture. We've seen current net farm income down 50% in the last 5 years, coupled with this uncertainty that's surrounding our international trade. And the RFS, farmers and ranchers, are feeling scared, and they're feeling vulnerable. So it is imperative that we provide them the necessary tools and technology that allows them to provide for their families and to protect their livelihood. 2 weeks ago, you and I sat together in the cabinet room at the White House, and we were directly across from President Trump. And we discussed the importance of international trade to rural states like Nebraska. In 2016, Nebraska was the 5th largest agricultural exporting state in the country, exporting nearly $6.6 billion in agricultural goods. So the access to those foreign markets is clearly important. It's imperative to our state. I was also very pleased to recently host Undersecretary Ted McKinney in Omaha at the very beef plant that sent the first shipment of U.S. beef to China. Nebraskans understand accessing new markets provides a trickle-down effect for growth opportunities in numerous sectors across our economy. I know we've talked a lot about trade today. We continue to talk about it every single day, the importance of it has for our agricultural communities. But I would like to ask you, sir, what actions is the USDA taking to promote foreign market development and access, because we do have opportunities there in your department?
Sure. As you mentioned, your delight in being with Undersecretary McKinney, he hadn't just been in Nebraska, he's been around the world, India twice, Japan, China, Indo-Pacific region, really knocking on doors. I view him as our chief salesman around the world, and we've got a lot of products to sell. Actually, that people want. The challenge is knocking down those protectionist barriers in many countries, such as India, we were just talking about, and other places. But we've got to be very aggressive. We really, probably from a business perspective, shouldn't be that reliant on China alone anyway, but we want to go around the world. He's been to the Western Hemisphere and South America, as well as all of the Eastern Hemisphere, looking for sales.
Which is helpful. Do you see any programs that you have in the USDA that you specifically believe we need to be focused on to increase that foreign market development?
I think one of the things that you all did in the omnibus was helpful was the MAP program, a market access program. These deal with collaborators and various industries. Many times they're matching these from 1-to-1 to 7-to-1 over in-country types of representatives to help keep the U.S. products in the forefront all the time, and certainly the market development programs as well. Both of those are very helpful as we try to build up capacity and the opportunity to promote U.S. products around the world. Many people feel like we're still at a disadvantage, that other countries are doing more, but we're utilizing those funds and leveraging them as much as possible.
Also, at the meeting that you and I were at with the president, he did bring up E15 to be sold year-round. I know many members here today have already expressed concern about where Administrator Pruitt is headed on that. I would echo Senator Ernst's words to you just a few minutes ago about the Secretary's commitment that he gave to her. He also gave such a commitment to me that he would uphold the letter of the law. We will continue to advocate to the President on that situation. I thank you for your information that you provide to the administration about the, first of all, following the law and what the law is with concern to the RFS. It does not expire until 2022, and many of us here know that and will continue to bring that to everyone's attention. But also we appreciate the information that you give to the President on that. I've got to welcome you to our ranch about a year ago in May 20th, woke up to snow on the ground. And we had a great meeting with many of our neighbors. You got to see the Nebraska sandhills, and we need you to come back. But if you remember at that meeting we had in our barn, we had a lot of people soaked to the skin because it was pouring rain at the time too. But I asked you to open up your phone to see if you had cell service, and you didn't. We don't have cell service at our ranch and in many places across the state of Nebraska in these rural areas where we have a sparsely populated group. But I would stress to you the importance of broadband deployment and ask you what the department is doing to help see that brought to fruition through many rural areas across America, but there are urban areas that need it as well. So what are you looking at?
Well, Senator, we appreciate the $600 million that was placed in the omnibus that will give us an opportunity to develop pilots with the idea of not a concentrated laser focus, but pilots that demonstrate how this can be deployed across the United States. It's not going to be done for $600 million, but we hope to use that as money to optimize and to leverage other money from the private sector, be they rural utility co-ops, rural telephone co-ops, or the private sector, in order to reach areas like yours that depend on the broadband connectivity. It is the interstate highway of the 21st century, and we're going to continue to see rural demise and demographic changes in those areas if we don't provide those kind of amenities.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Gillibrand.